All righty, here we are. Wait, are we recording? Why? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see it there for a second. All right. Well, good morning. I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic. Let me switch views here. There we go. And this is my friend and other psychic mom, Tammy Langowski. And yeah, here we are. Another day, another week, another shooting.
Yeah, two psychic moms here to, hey, let's start out by first just thanking again for any comments that we get on our two psychic mom YouTube videos. Thank you so, so much. And can we just, put a shout out that we would love you to like and subscribe. And, Julie and I really enjoy doing this. And we try to bring forth some topics or just, it all at some point is going to be some channeled, whether we at the get go, if we're channeling some messages as well, but we, often will fall into that. So yeah, we just want to, give you a thank you for viewing us and let other people know if you think they might be interested. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll just start off too with Tammy Langowski. You can find me at tammysintuitive.com, and I'm a spiritual advisor, intuitive advisor / counselor to your questions and areas you like to take a look at. I also do some channeled messages that I put on my social media, Tammy's Intuitive Services on Instagram and Facebook page. And if you like those and they inspire you, please share them. I would love you to share them. So I just want to invite you to that. Anyhow.
And I'm just going to echo that because I forget that not to promote, but I forget to promote it, to share it. It really is to just say that I have a YouTube channel. It's Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic, the Biz Psychic. And I have an Instagram too that a lot of my channel recordings get posted to as well. And I channel every month questions that people submit to me. Sometimes I just do, sometimes I do my own commentary as they give it to me as well. And I have some things coming up about, what does the job market look like in industry coming up and things like that. So that'll be probably out. We record tomorrow and it'll probably be out hopefully next week. My VA who does all that. Her husband broke, sorry, cat hair. Her husband broke his leg so seriously that he had to have surgery. And at the same time they were moving, and I just feel terrible for her. So there might be a little bit of lag there. But anyway, sometimes there is social, so we appreciate it. Both Tammy and I, thank you so much. If you like what you hear, if it moves you, inspires you, makes you angry, pissed off, whatever it is, hopefully not at us, that you share it and let everybody else feel the same way. So I was asking this morning to Tammy, what's coming through for you? I'm not sure what. Sometimes I think what comes through for me is also what they bring forth, and there's just a lot of commentary right now coming through from them, as well as just in general, about social injustice. So not a new topic. We're in the middle of the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin murder trial. And I'm not going to get into that except to say that I've watched some of it and it's actually quite interesting. What led me to this topic was when I was checking in this morning was, where are we? And I said to Tammy, last week we had all this hope. Not that hope is gone. I mean, there's still hope. And yet there is reality. And the reality is that another Black man, young, 20 years old, was shot and killed because he was pulled over because he had no new registration tags on his vehicle that his mother had just given him 2 weeks before. And it's widely known and understood that the DMVs all over the country are very behind in that because of COVID. It's known and understood. And he had a misdemeanor warrant for something, and ended up that one of the officers, it escalated rapidly, and she said she was going to tase him, and pulled out her gun and shot him instead. And
Wow.
it's, the question is, first of all, why are these things escalating as fast as they are? It's such a racial hot button. And I mean, you don't see it with white people. You don't see it happening with, you just don't see it. Maybe it's happening, but it's not filmed. I don't know. I'm sure that happened a lot. And sorry, will get political from time to time, and Tammy just puts up with that. And it's I think the commentary of the day from them is that we need to stand up for our brothers and sisters. It's very emotional for me. We need to stand up for our brothers and sisters of color. And this is not right. This is not right. He had a child. He was a 20-year-old young man. He had a 1 or 2-year-old baby, and he's gone. He's gone. So something has to change. And what led me to that really was what I heard earlier, which was, we have to lead the fight. Nothing will change, whatever it is, whether it's social injustice, right to vote, whatever it is, we the people have to lead the fight. And so use your voices on social media, whatever it is, use your voices. We are all human. We all deserve to be treated equally under our Constitution. And yeah.
Yeah. Julie, what I was hearing as you were saying that is, I'm going back to what I was saying, because sometimes it comes in and it goes out. I'm like, oh, what they say? Um, it had to do with, like, it's kind of the idea of, I'm sort of just going to open up to channeling a little bit too on the social injustice kind of piece. So I told Julie that I had not heard the story about, I saw a picture, I think, but I didn't read what it was about. I didn't get the information as to what happened. And so I do want to ask Julie, because I didn't read it. So when this happened, was he not cooperating? I am not by any means saying he deserved it. Please understand as I say that. I just want the picture. What happened that led her to pull out a gun and shoot him? I mean, or do you know? Or do we know?
Well, there is video. The way it, so let me start by saying the way it's portrayed, according to the officer's videos, is that she mistook her gun for her taser. Now, let me bring a little bit of information to that, which is given by the police department, their police department. Also, by the way, 10 minutes from where this happened with George Floyd. So Minnesota ain't having a good, year. That taser is on one side, gun is on the other. This was a 26-year veteran. If she doesn't know her taser from her gun by 26 years, that's a bigger problem. And if you are startled in some way, then that's a big problem too, because it seems to me that that's your job, and you receive training. Listen, being a cop is a hard job. I 100% support excellent training. I don't think the cops get enough training. And the whole structure of this law enforcement needs to change, where instead of it escalating the way it does so rapidly, they need to have it de-escalate. And they're taught that. So I don't know why it's happening, but apparently, so based on what I saw, I think they asked him, I could be getting this wrong. I think they asked him to get out of the car. I could be confusing this with another incident that I also saw. But he didn't, and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle, and she's yelling, "Taser, taser, taser," shoots him. He actually puts his foot on the gas and takes off, and a few hundred yards hits something and dies. I mean, it wasn't enough for him. He died from the gunshot wound. So, how it escalated as rapidly as it did is really the problem in all of these situations. It's it's the problem in all of them, and it is the common denominator.
Yeah, and it's I would imagine, I'm not a police officer, of course, but I imagine it's that hard call too when you're trying to um, ascertain. I don't know the word I'm looking for. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm sure it's a pretty scary situation when somebody starts to not engage with you, or is working against what you're saying. And again, I'm not even playing the devil's advocate here. I'm just kind of looking at it that way. I guess we'll find out more about that as time goes on, right? Maybe. When did this happen? Was it very recently?
Was was it last night?
Oh,
Or
okay, real recent
night
then. Okay.
before? It was either last night or the night before. It kind of runs together, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was last night. So, and by the way, today is Tuesday, April 13th, um, 2021. It's just I I think we need to be open to exploring that what's happening isn't working and something needs to shift.
Yeah, right, right. And
That's the
so if
bottom
we
line.
go to, yeah, I agree with you, Julie. Yeah. And it's getting more attention. See, of course, right? We're hearing more of these stories, sadly, but I mean, it's also getting more attention. And so when we think of the social injustice, I'm opening up to that a little bit. Social injustice, yes, exactly, is the way of the world. I think that's what I was trying to get to when I said I couldn't remember what they said. They're going back to it. It's the way of the world, isn't it? They said. You see, for every social injustice, there is something beautiful and remarkable and healing going on your same planet at the same time, isn't there? So you choose to where you want to lie your attention. And for those who have come in with a cause, then you will focus your attention on causes and how you can, help with them, how you can get them out. And they said there's no wrong or right to this. There is not to be said that everybody should be focusing on all the healing and wonderful things that are happening in a planet. And it's terrible if you're not, and you're looking at things of social injustice and you're trying to fight for that. Because everybody comes in, everybody's learning what they need to learn, everything's happening at the same time. So yeah, voices being heard is important, of course, right? In anything that we don't feel too good about, it does create the change often. Sometimes it's very slow moving, that change, uh, but then over time, may not even be in your lifetime. Then some of the voices that are speaking up and bringing light to certain subjects, it starts to change. It's already changed in your history over time, obviously. And yes, we would say it's taken maybe a long time, and it's still being worked on. So promote what you feel is important to you, because that is exactly why you're here on this planet. Whether it is for one day you're feeling about the social injustice and want to speak up, and then the next day it is about peace, love, and unity, and it's all really kind of the same thing in some ways, right? Depending how you look at it. So the bottom line they're saying to us is we feel that social injustice is indeed an important thing, and it's here to stay. Like it or not, it's here to stay. This is the planet you chose to come onto with a plethora of different experiences and opportunities to dive into, to put your hands in different little pots and to try things out. So yes, is it unfair? Yes, but we see they're showing me the bigger picture again, that we have to see that everybody who is what we consider a victim of something uh, is also part of that lesson. And it doesn't make it right to have something happen like it, it might have done to this young man. It could have been done different, but that there again, there's the lessons. Unfortunately, he is part of that experience of the change, of making the change. And for others to see it more clearly, perhaps, and to make different choices. And we've seen this over, as we know, right? We've seen this over and over and over in our history of things like that happening.
It's so weird when you said that. They so first of all, perfectly said as always from your guides, and I appreciate that. And they just took me to, they said, yes, it's happened over and over again. And they took me to the Salem witch trials.
Mhm.
Why? Again, persecution. And it happens throughout history over and over and over again. Yes, we know this. It again, injustice, right? And we have to, yeah, that's our experience. We chose to come and have
Yeah.
that experience.
Julie,
Past history.
I sometimes thank you for your input on that. Definitely. I sometimes almost feel sad saying this, or I don't mean it to sound so pessimistic, but I feel like we're here for the experience of trying to make change.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and that it may or may not happen to our liking, because the reality is, what I've been told is this world is about experiencing. It's about, do we want peace, love, and unity on our planet? Of course we do. Do our prayers mean something? Yes, they do. It's an energy we're putting out there, and if it's the idea that it just becomes bigger with us, grouping together and sending these blessings, then absolutely, I believe in prayer. I believe in the power of prayer and healing. At the same time, this planet, they tell me, is not necessarily ever going to become the all-encompassing place that we dream about. I think we're here to practice it. I think we're here to use our abilities and see what we can do. And I think at times we see where we feel like it is in a better place, like, wow, we're really heading into that. And then boom, something else comes along that kind of changes that. But what it does is open up more opportunity for learning and experiencing and seeing what we can do with it. So again, I think I just think about the social injustices. Whatever you feel you need to speak about, do it, say it, be part of it. And in any way that may be. And but let's not forget our power of prayer and setting good intention and expectations of what we want to see out there. I know Julie and I both do that, and we know that, but just wanted to kind of put that out there again.
And it's yeah, there's a little bit to add on that I will add on, but it's really really just validating what you said. I mean, we all choose to come in to the lifetime that we're in at this moment in time. This is my lifetime. This is your lifetime. We've been here many many times. We'll come back theoretically many many times. Um, and we come in to learn those experiences. There is such a range of humanity, and we can experience it over thousands of years. And I think you're right. They agree. Will it ever really change? We don't know. As long as there are humans, probably not. Um, the civilizations have come and gone from your planet, from our planet, uh, it, and that may happen again for all we
Yeah,
know.
it
We
could
so
be.
I do want to share just from my own. There's I don't know if you've heard of Drumbelow Melchizedek. He wrote the book on the flower of life, all channeled, and he considers himself what's called a walk-in. So do you know what a walk-in is, Tammy?
Hmm. Hmm.
So for those who don't, um, what we would say, my understanding of the definition of a walk-in is, say somebody's in the hospital and they're dying, that part of their energy decides to go, and somebody else's energy comes in, walks into that person comes back, but they're a little bit different maybe. So that's my understanding of a walk-in. If there's something else you want to add to it, go ahead. But
That's the same that I think, yeah, that I've heard of too. Yeah.
so he wrote a book called, I think it was called 2012 and Beyond. It was 2012 and Beyond. Anyway, if you just look up Drunvalo Melchizedek, do not ask me to spell it.
I know.
And it's written in sort of narrative form, where he talks about, the first thing he talks about is that we go through a cycle. I'm sorry, there's like a hair here somewhere that's driving me nuts. That is, the earth goes through two 13,000 year cycles, a 26,000 year cycle. And they alternate divine feminine and masculine. And at 2012, what that meant was we were coming to the end of the masculine cycle and entering the divine feminine. And this could take, 100 years or more to make that transition. When you think of a 13,000 year cycle, 100 years is, equivalent probably to like a minute in our time. So it's it is happening. We will transition ultimately to a more divine, feminine, empowered, loving planet, energetic energy of this planet. Not to say that it will entirely go away, the masculine, the Mars warring energy, but we are in that transitional period. So it's quite interesting, and it was quite an interesting book to read, I thought.
Yeah.
So I will share that with you. And listen, this is where we are at this moment in time. And what I guess we'll sum it up and say, it's really about making each day matter for you, making each day count for what you need it to count for, whatever that is for you. And that's really what this life is about, making it count, making each day matter, each minute, and coming from, when you can, that place of love. Takes a while. So
Yeah. Thank you, Julie. No, that's a really great reminder. And I think, just kind of maybe going back to something that our guide said, is it kind of reminded me of when you were saying that, is just, that we do need to pay attention to the things that are really, sparking us, right? Triggering us, whatever it may be, because truly that's an indication of what you are here to learn about, right? And if obviously we want to learn about something in the most positive way that we can, and keeping that sort of mindset along the journey. But, it's great because we don't often think about that. Often I will tell people, like in a session, or my guides will actually, is, especially if they don't know what they want to do, what kind of thing do I want to do? Am I interested in this? I don't know what my interests are. Some people say, some people know other things to do. I don't know what to do. And, they'll often show me the community calendar schedule, like, your community center has, and they said, literally flip through that and see where you pause, where you linger. There's classes, let's say, right? And so you're looking through it, and you flip through, and maybe you look at, oh, it'd be interesting to do a cooking class, or Italian cooking class, whatever, right? And yet so many times we'll stop and say, well, you'll be intrigued by it, but then you put it away, right? You think of some excuses to why you can't do it. But some little simple exercise like that can be really helpful to see what lights up for you. And it can be things you never really thought about, like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to do. Most likely you've probably done them before, either in this lifetime, if not this lifetime, other lifetimes where you have an interest in it. So explore that. I guess it's a branch off of a little bit of what we're talking about, not exactly the same, but yeah, they really love that idea of exploring. And that is a really good way to do it. Think about that, going through some class schedules and seeing what things light up for you a little bit, whether you choose to do it then or maybe down the road. But anyway.
sometimes it's just, sometimes I feel like we must share the same masters, guides, whatever. It's just interesting because as you were talking about that, I often, not often, but every once in a while when I get clients who need clarity on that as well, you know, where do I go? Do I go here? Do I go there? The guidance that my guides, well, their guides give is, you know, there's all these meetups that have all these, I mean, there's a meetup for everything. And what they'll tell, and it just actually, it doesn't happen very often, but what they'll tell their client, my client, is go explore that as if you're going up to a smorgasbord or to the appetizer bar and try out a little taste of everything until you feel like, oh no, that's not it. Oh, but that was good. I think I want more of that. And so, so interesting that our that we would get that a similar type of metaphor for exploring that.
Yeah, Julie, that's really amazing. And you're right. I mean, two things I'll say to that is that I've gotten that too, the meetup thing. You know, they'll talk about that too. And then they'll say, hey, you don't see something you like? Then start your own group. Start your own group, you know, which I think is a great idea because there is so many different things on Meetup, which is really a fabulous thing. Second thing, I totally agree with you. I think Julie, well, it's not coincidental that Julie and I are together doing this, as it isn't with any people that are together working in any way, right? It's karmic of some sort. But I do echo what Julie says on that, that a lot of times I think the same thing. Maybe that's why we're doing this together anyway, right? Is we have some similar messages that we get, which is kind of cool. You know, she'll be saying something, I'll think, wow, that's weird. And I know you've done the same thing, vice versa, you know, like we're thinking the same thing. So yeah, we still need to explore that. We've talked about that, exploring maybe past life pictures between us. That'd be kind of fun to do as a, if people are interested in seeing that, we can do that as one of our, you know, things, one of our YouTube.
I know. Somehow I think we forget till we get in here and then we do that. So we'll have to talk about that after and schedule it. But
yeah,
we'll schedule it. If we think it's interesting, we'll share it. But if it's not, we won't. So it might not be interesting.
Yeah, right.
It might just be interesting to us. So
true. True. I don't know. The past lifetimes are so interesting, aren't they? I mean, they just are. I think they're fun.
They're
really a lot of fun.
So this, the first 2 weekends in April, I taught, this time it was a really small class for Akashic readers. And I always trust, one of my students said, you know, if you want to put it off and I'll do it next time. And I said, I always trust that the class is the size it's supposed to be for the reason it's supposed to be. And in this particular class, there was the availability, because it was small, for me to give them more individualized coaching. And I just really enjoyed it, and they really enjoyed the class. And honestly, I love teaching it, and I'm so looking forward to my vacation next month.
Oh,
say that. I love it. It was great. I have a group now it's a private group for people who've done the training, to talk with each other and support each other. And that was kind of just what came to mind for me. I don't know why I wanted to share that, but
no, that's great.
After all these years, it's taking off.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. And you're so right, just on the point about, you just got to trust that, you know, the people that are supposed to be drawn to you for whatever reason that is, or a class, or even this channel. We hope it goes far and wide, but we also appreciate, you know, those who are viewing it, because we know that, you know, we're all connected, right? I've thought many times of just, of course, there's been so many clients, which is a blessing. But just how fun it would be. From time to time, I would do that, like in a session, you know, just quickly look at a past lifetime between me and the client.
Really?
Yeah, you know, just because it's fun, because, you know, it's usually what I've gotten, and I haven't done it very often, but it's the same kind of scenario.
Yeah.
It's usually the same scenario that we're you know, I'm counseling for some reason, or it's something like that that's been similar. And that often will, kind of continue to do that. So I'm actually, speaking of all that, I'm actually treating myself to, I mean, I can look at my own past lifetimes, but it's fun when somebody else does it for you.
Yep.
um, so for my birthday, that's what my birthday present's going to be, is usually
When's your
on
birthday?
my birthday, or maybe around, if it can't be on my actual birthday,
When
then
is
I,
it, Tammy?
it's next Tuesday,
Date?
the 20th.
Oh, the 20th. Oh, it
Yeah.
would be are we recording on your
Yeah,
birthday?
and we can. Yeah, sure. It's in the morning. I got the rest of my day to play. I'll be playing anyway in the morning, so
Okay, carry on.
I'll wear my maybe a party hat or something. Tammy likes themes. Anyway, just kidding, but well, maybe not. So,
You're treating
uh,
yourself.
what's that?
You're treating yourself too.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to treat myself to a past life reading again. That she'll go through several different ones. I kind of kept her in mind, and it was so funny. I hadn't thought about it for a while, but my guides recently will just how they pop things in. We say that drop them in. They're saying, like, they'll say past life regression, past life regression. I said, no, I'm not really doing any past life regressions right now. That's on hold, because I like to be in person with people if I do that. And then it wasn't until later then I was drawn back, and I wasn't thinking about what they said, and then I realized, oh, that's what they've been telling me. It's coming up. Past life reading. So I'm excited about it, and I'll put out, just as it's recommended really for all of you whenever you have a session or anything like that, is kind of set the intention and put out what you hope for. Not saying I want certain lifetimes, but I just mean, like, that I'll be told the ones that I really need to hear about, that will benefit me in knowing.
Yep.
Because I really have a fascination with our other lifetimes, and certainly ones I've seen that I've already have information on have been just amazing to me, and really, really were touching. And what I want to say, there was truth to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear about something you've done, and it's like, oh, I get it. I see the correlation. I can feel it. So. But when you have a reading or a session, even just a reading, you want to maybe put out the intention ahead of time. I know a lot of you do that, of just that you really will hear what you need to hear in a session, and what is told you is what you need to hear, all that kind of stuff. I know for me, when I start out a session, I usually end up telling people, whatever I hear immediately first off is something you really need to know.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't sound like that big a deal, they're taking that opportunity to literally say, okay, let me just get this in. Let me get this in before we get started. It's kind of our guide saying that. So I usually end up just at the end wrapping that up with that again, just kind of reiterating whatever was just mentioned. It could even be a sentence. It might not even be anything that big that they go into, but it's something that they just wanted to point out.
I I say I call it talking in caps. That
Love that. Ah, I love that. Yeah.
they'll give me something, and because I'm sure you do too, I'll get a lot of stuff and I have to discern what do they is pertinent to them right in this moment.
Exactly.
And if they repeat something to me, then I know I need to get to give it. And for some reason, it's like I see it in caps. They want me to
Yeah.
give it. So I know exactly what you're saying.
Oh, I love how they do that for you, because really that is, I mean, that is what's important, right? Is what you hear really at the beginning. And that's why I open up. I just say, okay, I'm going to open up to whatever they tell me at the beginning, and then we're going to go into your questions, because I do really like to work with questions and areas people like to look at. But we will, if somebody says, oh, I don't really have any more, then I'll sit with, just the energy and see what our guides are saying. Maybe take a look at chakras, anything I need to, point out there, that kind of thing. But yeah, I like that, all caps. That's that. How cute of them to show it to you that way. That's great.
It's just yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah,
So interesting.
cute.
I think um I think we probably need to wrap it up.
Oh, we do. I just looked at the time. Oh my goodness, we've been going on here. Hope you're all okay with that.
People will fast forward through whatever they don't want to,
Yeah.
I guess. But so we just want to leave you. Here's my final thought, which is remember to be present to what's going on for you. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, and it it's sitting in that discomfort until it feels less uncomfortable. And then it really doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. So I'm not saying put up with anything bad. I'm saying just take
Yeah.
a look at what you might be avoiding and then just be present to it and see what that means for you. That's what they're telling me. So yeah, but be
I
present,
love that, Julie.
just be
Yeah.
present today and every day and in the moment. That's all we have. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
No, yeah, I love that. I love what you said, because it is about when you're present like that, well, and really listening to what is being given to you just internally and what you're feeling. That's what you came here for, is to learn about that. So I love it, Julie. Exactly. Being present is really, what we all strive to be. Sometimes we're going to go off a little bit, but always drive back, or, go back home to the present, to being grounded and in your space. And then I was kind of just getting, just, sort of again about the crediting yourself on a daily basis. I've said it before. A lot of people say this. It's not my saying, but I'm just, my guides will often say things like, gratitude every day, of course. My head hits the pillow and I'm saying, thank you for this day and all that's come my way. And I list out everything I'm grateful for. And then our guides say, make sure you're crediting yourself. So then I add that on. What do I want to pat myself on the back for today that I accomplished? What did I do today? That I need to credit myself, because gratitude is a great thing to go over, but crediting ourselves brings it home. It makes it like, hey, at a girl, at a boy, I'm special and I've done well today. So please remember to do that for yourself. And that's kind of
Love it. Thank you.
what we have here.
Wonderful reminder. Such a wonderful reminder. We put ourselves last so often. So
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic. You can find me at bizpsychic.com, bizpsychic, whatever, everywhere. Or Julie Hawkins everywhere. Not to be confused with an artist, Julie Hawkins, which sometimes happens. And yeah, that's it for where I'm at, Tammy.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Julie, say again.
And just, of course, readings, readings.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm Tammy Langowski. Tammy'sintuitive.com is where you can find me. You can contact me through that, or through psychicmom@sbcglobal.net if you're interested in a session. And again, check out my channeled messages. Our guides are sharing them because they want to share them, and we want to get them out there. If you're, send it and pass them on if they feel good to you. Also, remember our Higher Healing. We're part of our Higher Healing group, HIRE Healing. We've got we'll talk about it next week probably, but we do have another event coming up on April 24th. So keep it in mind. You can go to the Higher Healing Facebook page. We find is the best to get the information, I think, of it being, because somebody did ask that question, I believe, about how to look at future events. I saw that on something. It might have been our Higher Healing group thing. So I'm thinking the Higher Healing Facebook page, and we are part of that collective as well. So anyhow, I think that was it. I thought I was going to say something else, but maybe that was just it.
Hello. Bella.
Such a love.
Didn't want to do that, but
and our cats are doing good. Our cats are doing good, right? Everything's, we love our kitty cats. So love your animals. Even if you've got dogs, we love dogs too.
Oh my God, I love other people's dogs.
Yeah, dogs are great. So we're not just like, don't look at dogs at all. We love them too. Give them a big hug today. They love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you next time on Tammy's birthday.
Oh, all right. See you then. Bye-bye.